my wife and I live near the beach. The studio's near the beach. So sometimes I just envision that I'm floating floating out in the ocean, like, Tom Hanks in Castaway, or I'm thinking about
that does not sound anything but stressful. Like
Tom
Hanks.
Tom Hanks stuff.
That is a bad situation.
I grew up on the ocean my whole life, and I swim like a fish, man. I've been swimming since I was a young kid, and something about the ocean relaxes me. Nature, period. Woods, space, things like that. I have to put myself in that place to get there. Sometimes I get there, sometimes I don't. So it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge, but it's always worth it.
Dude, 1 hour?
I don't know how anyone gets
that. Is unbelievable.
I mean, I've been doing this for a few years now, and like meditating wise, man, I think the longest I've gotten to is like 8 minutes of just being able to shut it down. Yeah. And for the longest time, I was just trying to get 3 minutes, man. If you can do it for 3 minutes, and not the stretching part, but the meditating part. So some days is better than others. But I can say it's like, wow, it's amazing how much it's helped me doing this routine that I know now. It's just something that obviously I've been doing it for years. It's not a fad. It's not something that's going to disappear. It's something that I'm always going to do. And if I do it every day, I see significant progress in everything I do for the rest of the day. It's just, there's a reason why people have been doing this for eons, right? It makes sense,
They're not doing it just for fun, because like that shit is hard. Like, no. Anyone who's never done it, try to do a minute, and you'll see that it's really, really difficult to do. So even
really hard.
I think 8 minutes is like impressive.
It was, you know what? And that's been my longest stretch. Usually for me, I can meditate for maybe 5 minutes. And that's like my average. And then I just go about my routine, because the thoughts,
that's great.
They creep in, the thoughts. I have to shut the thoughts out. Now on tour, man, it's really hard to do that. But there's times that there's people in the room, they're conversating. There's guests back there. I'm just totally in my own zone. It's almost like, I would call it like the Charlie Brown effect, like, the in the background, wow, 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 wow. Like I hear it, but I'm not acknowledging it. It's like, it's not even they're speaking another language. It's almost in the fray. And so the more I can do this, because for me, I'm like my worst enemy, man. Like I can be my best friend, and I can be my worst enemy. And a lot of it has to do with my thoughts and my overthinking. And when I can be out of my thought for whatever moments of time that is, it just makes me a much more healthier person. So I've noticed that. And, part of that, this extra routine of meditating and stuff started during COVID, because like many people, I'm not ashamed to say, I was struggling mentally. My whole family, I hadn't seen my family. They're all in New Jersey. There's things going on, like what the hell's going to happen with the future, blah, blah, blah. And there's so many question marks about what the hell's going on. And so I've been stretching forever, but the meditating part, I really started during COVID and realized how much that helped me keep my thoughts in check, or any anxiety I was feeling, or depressing thoughts or anything like that. The meditation really helps that.
Yeah, it's the thing that I find the most helpful about it is that, again, I'm not perfect at it either. I think my longest stretch has been like 6 minutes, but when I am doing it, sometimes I'm better about it, sometimes worse. But when I am better about it, the evil voice in my head, the one that like gives me the thoughts I don't want to be thinking about, or that like will replay things, or just gets the hamster wheel going in a bad direction. Like I'm able to separate myself from that and like divert
Mhm.
to something I do want to be thinking about, because my brain's like a high-powered weapon, and sometimes it aims itself, and I need to make sure that it's not just aiming. Only time I want it aiming itself is if I'm doing something creative, but like, but
Yes.
the rest of the
Yep.
time I should be the one directing it, because like it left to its own devices, it can get kind of negative. So I found that the meditation helps me like realize I'm doing it, and then like change that channel basically.
Yep, exactly. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely.